No, because Nate Ament dropped 29, and the way he's playing is unreal. And anytime you get that type of performance, which looks like we're going to continue to get, you got a chance to win every game. Um, and when are you going to see Jacoby Gillespie go for 1 point again in a half? Um, and so, yeah, like I, I'm not melting down over the loss. It stinks because it's another double digit lead that we surrendered. Um, there are some concerns about the post play and our ability to finish around the basket, but like I'm good. I think Tennessee has a chance to go run the table for the rest of the season. Vanderbilt game is going to be very tough, but like I'm not freaking out. I mean, the Lady Vols, that's a whole other story. But
Whole
like,
different conversation.
but I'm with you, Ben. Yes, yes, and no, and no and yes, and yes and no.
This time of year during SEC play, especially once you get into February, and we've already seen the team grow, right? Wouldn't you agree that we've seen the team grow in between the Kentucky losses? We saw them win 5 of 6 and 4 straight with important wins at Alabama, at Georgia, home against Auburn. There were some really good wins in there. Beat Texas A&M in overtime. Was that before or after the first Kentucky loss? I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was. I think it was that game after the Kentucky loss, but don't quote me on that. Apologies if I had that wrong. But we've seen improvement throughout the month of January, is my point. And I still like this team's potential for March. There's certainly still growth that needs to take place, don't get me wrong. But I kind of feel, and I realize that you've now lost to Kentucky twice this season, but I still feel like the loss was kind of fluky on Saturday night in the sense of I'm not ignoring the concerns. That can be a separate conversation. But this time of year, like what would concern me is if I see things that change Tennessee's trajectory. And I didn't see anything on Saturday night that changes Tennessee's trajectory when you look ahead to March. I saw some fluky things happen, like the missed shots around the rim, and I
Is
know
that
that's
fluky?
that has what's that?
Is that fluky? That's something that's been happening pretty consistently the last couple of games.
I was going to say that it has certainly happened this year,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't feel consistent to me. Maybe I'm missing the mark there.
Mm-hmm.
But like when you have 19 offensive rebounds and the other team has 8, yet they have 2 more second chance points than you. Kentucky had 14 second chance points. Tennessee had 12. Like you should have won that game by a lot. And you would love to have a bunch of shots back from around the rim. Obviously, those bunnies, Jacoby Gillespie scoring 1 point in the second half. Like to me, that was more of a one-off than any red flags that need to be planted about Tennessee's long-term outlook, which is why I'm not concerned.
So I was looking at this the stat sheet after the game, and I want to share something with you that's crazy. I'm sure you've seen it and probably had the same thought, but Nate Ament was 10 for 17. Okay, a lot of his shots were from the perimeter. Would you agree? Jacoby Gillespie, a lot of his shots are from the perimeter. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
He went
Yes.
5 for 15. 5 for 15. JP Estrella went 4 for 13. And all of his shots are around the rim. He shot worse than Nate Ament and Gillespie. And he's 7 foot tall that spends his time in the paint. He had a terrible day offensively. Terrible day. And so you hope that's just one game deal. I think the group has struggled with bunnies and layups. Um, at some point, you got to just grab the rebound and go try to dunk it on somebody instead of all the tips because the tips wasn't going in.
That's one of my basketball pet peeves. Like not just Tennessee related, but so many guys. And I've never played in the post before. I'm not 6 whatever and have had the ability or luxury to have a second chance opportunity at the rim. But from the outside looking in, it would seem like your chances of scoring second chance points would be much greater if you grabbed the basketball with two hands and went back up with it and dunked the basketball instead of trying to play volleyball around the rim. That is a basketball pet peeve of mine. So many post players love to play volleyball around the rim, and it becomes really frustrating when you have a game like Saturday night and those tip ins are not working.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the phones. 865-255-03, Garza Law Hotline, GarzaLaw.com. Good morning.
Good morning, Jason.
What's up?
Hey, man. Why does this basketball team have to be so bipolar?
Say that again.
I said, why does this basketball team have to be so bipolar?
Oh,
Man,
it's basketball, and they're not a top 10 team, and this is what teams who are not top 10. This is what they do. I mean, Kentucky's done the same thing, getting blown out, by Vanderbilt. Teams that are at the 20 to 25, 25 to 30, they have really good days, and they have days where they lose games they shouldn't. I mean, that's why I think we're ranked the way we're ranked.
They also have a lot of inexperienced newcomers that are learning to play basketball together for the first time.
Yeah, I can agree with that. What kills me the most is, and you go back and watch the game, and I know it's been talked about, Jalen Curry didn't get a shot off us. If you go back and watch him in that Kentucky game, there's countless of times, man, he works his butt off to get good position. And our guards look at him, and they just throw it out to the next guy. They don't throw it in their team. And then when they do throw it in their team, I don't know who's top. They'll get it to JP up top, and they'll try to throw Jalen Carey that little tiny bounce pass. And that kills me, man, because he's working to get his position, and then you throw it at his feet. I mean, that's a hard play for any big man to, catch that low bounce pass and then gather it and go up, especially when, you're working that hard for position. But I don't know. It seems like he works hard like that, and then he starts. It's like you can see the frustration from him because he's working hard to get the position, and then he don't get the ball. And I get it. I mean, you got to share the ball, but that just it's if you go back and watch the game, how many times did he have perfect position and we just didn't get him the ball? You know what I mean?
Yeah. There was one where the angle was poor, and we tried to, we ducked him in, and you had the small bounce pass, as you referred to it as, and the angle was bad that Kentucky got a fingertip on it, and Carey just never got the ball. But the fact that he didn't take a shot is just insane to me.
Well, it's because he doesn't put forth great effort, in my opinion. Based off of how Rick Barnes has been coaching him in practice the last couple of weeks, he would put the inability to get him the basketball on Jalen Carey because Rick does not believe that he has been fighting for his space the way that he should be, and his motor is not what it should be. He and that is why he is struggling to be consistent. I mean, at times his effort is so poor he should just go play for the Lady Vols, quite frankly. Which is why
you see, Ben, you see that you can see the. I mean, you can see the change in him. I mean, you can watch it from the first of the game when he's posting up, and then by the middle of the game, you can tell that he's lacking the effort.
I also don't think he's in great shape either. Not that he's in bad shape, but he could take it to a whole nother level if he was in a little bit better shape.
And I know there's many things that we could talk about, but Swain, I got to ask you one more thing, and I hate to be negative Nancy, but do you think it's a red flag after hearing what the ladies basketball coach said the other day? I sent you a text message, I think last week. You kind of read a little bit of it on air and then bit your tongue, and I understand it was a loaded text message. But do you think that's an early red flag?
What she said Sunday?
Yeah. I mean, at this point in time, I mean, you're the coach, man. I mean, you're at the University of Tennessee. It's a humble Pat Summit. You can't just come out and say that your team quit, then you can't have South Carolina's coach come out and tell you how you ought to be coaching your team.
Whew. Man,
What do you think about that, man?
like I tweeted that I watched it over 25 times. I mean, I'm over 35 times now. Like I just couldn't believe that in year 2 of her tenure with NIL that we would be talking about a team quitting versus UConn and South Carolina. Games where you should play with your hair on fire. That's the reason why you come to Tennessee, is to be able to play in games like that. Like, I understand not having the same intensity level against ETSU or Furman or one of these squads, because we've seen it play out that way in football. Hey, man, the intensity level just sometimes.
Lesser competition.
But on that stage, you go out there and get your head beat in by 43 points, a program record. You lose by 30 to UConn. You're at home versus Mississippi State wearing the Summit Blues.
Yeah.
And you lose by 20 and you're not even interested in playing. And
like I said, man, the kicker is when Dawn Staley gets up in her press conference and is asked about it, and she sits there and says, "Well, if it would have been me telling Kim how to, that just, man, when she said that, I thought, God, that rubbed me. I know if I was coaching, that'd rub me the wrong way. But I neither here nor there. I hate being negative all the time, but.
It's a bad weekend for Tennessee, man. It was a bad weekend. Dustin.
Yeah.
Hey, man, thanks for the phone call, buddy.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, it's a bad weekend. Yeah.
And let's understand, it was a bad weekend for both basketball teams, but two totally different issues.
No,
not even on the same planet.
Yeah, 100%.
Like the men's do not. I understand that it was a bad loss for them. They don't deserve to get lumped into the Lady Vols.
Yeah, I mean it was a bad weekend for Tennessee fans when you lump in the fact that you lost both games on the big stage. James Pierce is out here embarrassing everybody with his behavior. I mean, hey, Jamal Meshack is doing everyone proud, taking advantage of his opportunities. But in terms of just losing, it was a bad weekend for Tennessee, and that's
Valus Jones winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he won Super Bowl, but I mean that's part of it being a fan of a sports team, a fan of a university. You're gonna have a lot of peaks, you're gonna have a lot of valleys, and Tennessee has had a lot of peaks, in the last couple of years. This just stinks right now, and there's one thing that you can go out there and do to change it, and that's go out there and win. But what Ken Caldwell said is alarming on a lot of levels, because, and I've seen people say, well, that's what you want, right? You want the honesty. You mean she it's the players can't. I mean, it's the players. I'm like, yo, I get that.
It's not the honesty that we have an issue with. It's the fact that by her being honest, she is showing a lack of accountability.
I mean, she didn't say anything about herself during that clip. And at the end of the day,
that quote.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I interrupted you. I apologize.
No, I was saying, like, at the end of the day, you are responsible for your team's culture. You are the head coach. It's the same thing I said about Josh Heupel. Like, you are responsible. We had a serious conversation here during the Butch Jones era, and I said a quote that the head coach sets the temperature. They have the thermostat. So, like, at my house, kids, you don't touch the thermostat because you ain't paying no damn bills up in here. You leave the thermostat to the adults. Well, the head coach, they set the temperature inside of the program. They possess the thermostat. And if leadership is a problem inside your program, that's on you. If you have a team that's quitting, that is on And it's not a one-time deal. This has been a consistent issue. We just heard Jim Knowles say in his conversations, if the players are quitting, it's the coach's fault. It's what Jim Knowles just said. When you hire a coach that doesn't have a lot of experience, there's going to be growing pains. We've seen those growing pains with Josh Heupel early in his tenure. We're seeing it with Kim Caldwell. She ain't used to coaching on this level. She's just not. And when you're dealing with personalities of players who are good enough to play anywhere in the country, it's different than dealing with personalities of players who are not good enough to play anywhere in the country. And that's where she came from. And so the older players are basically being called out by Kim because they're supposed to be the one that's providing the leadership. They ain't listening, man. She ain't reaching them. And there's some people who are criticizing because they want to get rid of Kim Caldwell. I need for people to understand, just because something is being pointed out that's not right, that needs to change, doesn't mean I am saying Kim Caldwell needs to lose her job. I need people to start listening. I need people to listen to what is said instead of listening to respond or listening to jump to conclusions. It's one of my pet peeves. Just listen. She deserves to be criticized. Her team lost by 43 points. They lost by 30 to UConn. They lost by 20 plus to Mississippi State at one point during that game. They look terrible. Offensively, they have no identity. They play AAU basketball. The schematics are not even good. Like, it's a hot mess right now.
Yeah, players showing up late to warm-ups before a basketball game. How does that happen?
It's a hot mess. It's a hot mess.
It is a hot mess. It points to two things, and I don't want to speak for you, but I think that you would agree that, like, the players aren't blameless. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree with that?
They are blameless, 100%.
I would say aren't blameless. They deserve blame too.
They are. Yeah, excuse me. They are to blame as well.
Yes, they are not. They're not getting out of this criticism either. Like, you have aspirations, I would hope, of making it to the next level, and you are responsible for your effort and how you approach the game and all of those things. Like, we're not saying that the players get out of this without blame either, especially in today's era of being played. And I would imagine the Lady Vols are compensated as well as any women's basketball program in the country. So they are not without blame as well. But the reason we point to the coach is because the coach obviously is ultimately responsible for the final product that is put on the floor. And when she goes out and says those comments, it speaks to, or it displays, a lack of accountability that you need to have as a head coach. And it is baffling because of two things. Like Swain said, you as the adult, as the head coach, are in charge of making sure you have a proper culture in place to where they do play hard. You are responsible for their effort and having them play together as a team and things of that nature. And here's the other thing that I think it points to. The second thing in my mind is, I think there are instances in which the coach is doing as good of a job as they can with a specific player, and the problem is more about the player than the coach. Those scenarios exist. Rick Barnes has had players that don't play hard, and that to me is more reflective of the player than Rick Barnes, because Rick Barnes has an established pattern of his teams playing hard. Tony Vitello, so on and so forth. Josh Heupel, for the most part, has done a good job of his teams playing the way that they need to. You control the roster. So if you have a group of people that you're not able to connect with and get to play hard, A, not only is that your job to fix it, but B, you still are responsible at the end of the day for the issues because you elected to bring those people in. And if they're not vibing with what you want, that means it was a poor evaluation by you in the transfer portal process or the high school recruiting process. You control the players that are on your team, and it's not one player or even two players. It seems like it's multiple players, which goes back to it being a you problem for bringing these players in.
If you're a player on a Lady Vol basketball team, and all of a sudden you don't like the system, well, you like the system when you decide to come here. You took the check. Because it looks like offensively, this team hates this system. Because there's zero movement, there's no continuity, it's a hard watch. And I text you every Lady Vol game to see if you're watching, because I'm watching. I watch every Lady Vol game.
I can't anymore.
Yeah, I watch it. Now,
And you know me, I watched through the Holly. I grew up on the Lady Vols. I was in middle school when Candace Parker was doing her thing, and I thought the world of Candace Parker. My mom played basketball, so I've always watched the Lady Vols. I watched through the end of the Holly Warlick era. I watched through the Kelly Harper era. I covered games then when I was a student and fresh out of college. I watched all last year. I watched the start of this year. This effort is horrendous. Nobody should be watching. If they're not going to put forth the effort required, nobody should be watching them play right now, quite frankly. And I am anti. Now, you know how I am, Swain. You've been around me for almost a decade now. You know that no matter how bad my team is, I'm going to tune in and still watch. And even when they're being blown out, I will still continue to watch. I refuse to watch this. This is just wasting my borrowed time on this earth watching this effort 2 times a week.
Yes, it's tough. It's tough. So right,
you're a better man. You're a better man than I am watching this.
I still watch it because I like watching. I like watching good.
The other team play.
I like watching good basketball. So if Tennessee's playing UConn and South Carolina, at least I can watch one good team play together and play hard. All right, let's go to the phones. Back to the phones. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Listen, I want to talk about the men's game, and then I also want to talk about the women.
Please.
But this is Nathan, man. I listen to you guys every day. Or every day you're on, I enjoy listening to you.
Thank you.
But the men's game, man, one thing that was really puzzling to me, and I know y'all talked about it, was just offensively second half. It was like we didn't get aim at touches, and when we did, it wasn't in good situations. It was almost like we completely went away from what got us to where we were. And then on the inside, our bigs, they were just horrific on Saturday of finishing inside.
Yep.
But one question I want to ask, and y'all try to explain this to me. When the game's on the line, we have Evans on the block to block out a post on that last free throw they missed. Tell me why in the world we didn't have a big down there to block out at that point in time.
Yeah, Ben asked Rick Barnes that question at the press conference.
He just simply said it was a mistake. He should have had Dwayne in there because that was obviously a key moment. That was the highlighted moment, but it was baffling to me as to why Jalen Carey was in the game for the final 3 or 4 minutes over Dwayne Brown. And Dwayne missed plenty of shots close to the rim like JP and Jalen did. All the post players were missing shots around the rim. But if they're all going to be missing shots around the rim, at least put the guy in there that's going to play hard, the guy that has 12 rebounds in the game, and the guy that's facilitating for his teammates, even when his shot isn't falling. So that was mostly why I asked the question, but then it was obviously highlighted by when Kentucky was able to grab that offensive rebound in a 1-point game. They get fouled, go to the free throw line, make 2 more free throws, and it's a 3-point game, and Jacoby Gillespie has to settle for a half-court shot at the buzzer. So, but Rick just, I mean, it was a 2-sentence answer. That's on me. I should have had Dwayne in there.
Well, one other thing on it too, man. I want to quit saying this team's a good defensive team too, because this is one of the worst defensive teams I think that Barnes has had. Like second half was just atrocious. We just get lost
And, it's just like our first line of defense is good, and then when they make one pass screen, we're lost, and it's almost like we don't know what to do. So it's just a struggle when we play a good team offensively. And then I want to talk about the Lady Vols too.
Okay.
The system that we're running, I just don't think it'll ever work, especially defensively. This is the worst defensive team, I think one of the worst I've ever seen in basketball. At one point, my son had texted me and he said, South Carolina was shooting, I think it was almost 70%. And I thought, well, it's not because they're shooting good, they're shooting layups, and we just don't play defense. And it's just, it's really honestly sickening to watch the defensive effort from that group. They don't hustle to get back. They don't even play hard. And Swain, I agree with you. You can say the players quit, you can say all that, but you're the head coach, and you're the one getting paid to make them play hard. And if they don't play hard, it all falls on you. And, I agree the players need to step up, but she's the head coach, and she needs to get players that will play hard if they won't play hard. And it's just really disheartening to watch it and to see. And I'll hang up and listen to you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate the phone call. I was going to say, sit girls who don't want to play hard. I know you are married to this system where you run up and down the court and you have 5 in, 5 out. You're pressing full court. I get it, but the culture is more important than the scheme. It's way more important. And so, if it's the older players, sit their butts down. Go with the young players. Like, the culture is more important than the scheme at this point. You are playing a team on Thursday that is coached by Kelly Harper, the coach that you fired, that was fired here. Is this the game where you want to send a message? I don't know. But
Kim can't afford to. That's a hard question because she can't afford to mess around and get too cute. Because if you lose this game, I'm not saying she should be fired, but it's going to get ugly. Is where I will settle, I guess, with my thought there. She cannot afford to lose this game. But on the flip side of what I'm saying, what she's been doing has not been working. So maybe this is the time to, quote, get cute and switch things up.
Ben, 43-point loss, 30-point loss, down 20 at home versus Mississippi State. We're trending to an L anyways, doing the things that we're currently doing. In the Georgia game, nothing was pretty about the Georgia game either. You up 4, we're fouling a 3-point shooter. We get called for the foul. We're hopping around, losing our cool. No regard for the game, the team. We're thinking about ourselves. Kim has to grab the player. The player I didn't see her say, my bad, or stop and say, you know what? You're right, coach. Let me chill out. No, she just kept going. Like, almost gave the Georgia game away. But here's what I'm trying to say. You got Missouri. Do you use this game to send a message? Because Sunday, you're playing a team that's as good as South Carolina. The only difference is you're playing at home, but you're playing Texas. Texas is a top 5 team. And then Tuesday, you go on the road and you play Ole Miss. It ain't getting easier. You got a game against Texas A&M on the 19th. And then you go on the road, you play Oklahoma, a top 10 team. And then after that, you go on the road and play LSU, a top 10 team. So you got 3 top 10 teams, a top 15 team, and Missouri that's going to be playing with their hair on fire for Kelly Harper, who got fired from here. So what do you do? 865-255-03. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning.
Good morning, Jay Swizzle. Good morning, Benjamin.
Big Orange Mac.
I got 3 quick points. Number 1, Lady Vols, I think there's some accountability that needs to be held on both sides. Now, at the end of the day, you're right, Jay. She's the head. She's the head honcho. The buck stops with her, and if they not respecting her, that's on her. But I still, at the end of the day, their accountability need to be held on both sides.
100%.
Those girls that they can shoulder some of the responsibilities too. You've got to be self-disciplined enough to show up to practice on time, and what other stuff that they said that they weren't doing. You've got to show some self-discipline as well. And if they're not showing self-discipline, that's when Coach Kim, you got to step up and put your foot in their rear end, and which I don't think they respect her enough. They ain't scared of it like they were. You think Pat? You think Pat would have put up with that? Hell no.
No. Pat had Candace Parker on the bench because she missed curfew because remember she was dating Shelton Williams and
yes,
she was late for something. Pat set her butt on the bench. So you got to hold people accountable, and if you don't, the team won't respect you.
Yep. My second point with basketball, in my opinion, we're way too soft. I know we talked about big man play. They are way too soft, and I agree with Benjamin. Put both hands on that pumpkin and just go up. Quit trying to just show some physical ability. God made you 7 foot for a reason.
Yeah.
Now my little stumpy behind ain't trying to play center. No. God gave you that stature for a reason, God and genetics, but use it. Quit being soft, like you said in the movie Life. S-O-F-T, soft. You look soft. Carrie, soft. JP, soft.
Well, and for
my
Carrie,
third point,
and I hate to pile on Carrie this morning, Big Orange Mac, but it is what it is. He is the one that got in that little brouhaha, that pushing and shoving at the end of the first matchup with Kentucky and Knoxville when he was pushing Otega Owe and I believe it was Brandon Garrison. And
they called him
let
fat.
Muhammad Diabate and Garrison push him around on Saturday night. How are you going to be all bark at the end of the first matchup and act all tough and then show up and not do anything on Saturday night?
Not do nothing. I mean, they just did what they want to you. Then you won't bark after the game. They call you fat, and then you don't do nothing. You don't do nothing the second matchup to redeem yourself. And that's soft.
Rick had to put Felix Okpara in because the other guys weren't getting the job done. Felix out there limping around on a sore calf, and Rick has to put him in there because guys like Jalen are not getting it done.
My third point, and I'm get off here, fellas, and this goes for all fellas, young bucks, old heads like me. Learn from James Pierce experience. Don't let a pair of legs cost you everything you've worked for. Point blank. Period. Let me reiterate myself one more time. Don't let a pair of legs cost you everything you worked for your whole life. All right? You got that man? That go for everybody. Fellas, you hear me? Don't let it happen. Let it go, L-I-G. Let it go. It ain't worth it. You worked your butt off your whole life to get where you at, and you don't let a pair of legs. Don't let it happen. Benjamin, Jay Swizzle, love y'all. Have a great day, and go Big Orange.
Hey, thank you, Mac. I mean, I just think about all the stuff that went on between Pierce and Rickea over the last 3 years that is not public. If James Pierce was willing to conduct himself like this on a Miami street in front of a police station, what was he doing when they were alone? $865-255-03. is a telephone number. Pierce is lucky to be alive. There's two different events that took place involving the police. One took place in Knoxville when he was pulled over for speeding, was given directions to stay put and walk towards the police officer. I'm sorry, in some parts, they shooting you for that. So he was lucky there. This incident in Miami, they had a gun. They had guns pulled out on you. You get into the car, drive off, and then you hit a police officer with your car. They could have shot you then. You're wrestling with 7 police officers. One of the 7 could have shot you again that time too, because they could have interpreted you trying to grab an officer's gun during that tussle. When the draft stuff was coming out, I felt bad for Tennessee fans because Tennessee fans are loyal, man. They're just loyal. They're going to ride with you. Remember the whole conversation with Derek Barnett and Myles Garrett? Like, Derek Barnett's better than Myles Garrett. And I was like, hold on now. Hold on, family. I love y'all, which is why I'm going to help y'all. Don't say that. because Myles Garrett's a freak. And he's going to be better in the NFL. Derek Barnett had a better college career, but Myles Garrett will be a better pro. So let me help you out, family, because I know we loyal. We love our own. But Myles Garrett is a freak. And you see what's happening now in the NFL, Ben. Well, when there was reports about James Pierce's character, our Tennessee fans loyal came out because they didn't hear the stuff that went on in Tennessee. They didn't hear it all. And I don't blame Tennessee in this. I think they did what they could do. I think there was probably a time when they could have, on the front end, got Pierce more in check. But I'm not going down that road. But I think if you're Tennessee, you try to get him to a position where he can at least go try to make a living and touch a dream that could change a family's trajectory forever. And Tennessee did that. They got him to the league. But James never evolved. He never got better as a person. Well, our Tennessee fans saw those reports and were like, yo, what is this? Character concerns. And a friend of mine who listens to the show, who I met through doing radio, was on social media defending James hard. And
Stephen Pearl?
No, it wasn't Stephen Pearl. He wasn't defending James Pierce hard. But I had to reach out to him. I was like, hey man, as a friend, the stuff is legit. I don't want you to look crazy out here. He does have character concerns. It's legit. And it seemed like Pierce was doing okay after that first year. But what happened was what NFL teams were afraid of. The anger issues. The violence. I think he's lucky that he made 3 years in Tennessee. I think in some other places he wouldn't have made it. But anyways, I'm going to the text box. Our telephone number, 865-255-03. Thanks for the phone call there, Big Orange Mac. Big guys got to be big guys and play big. And I didn't even think about that with Jalen Carey and how that first game ended. Um, man, he didn't have any points. Hey, you may play Kentucky again, Ben, and this is just something that happened last year.
It's really followed the same script as last season, to where I know there was one person who disagreed with me calling it a fluky loss because it's the second time that they have lost to Kentucky in similar fashion, but you lose the first game by 2 points in which you just routinely shot yourself in the foot the entire second half, and then you lose the second one on the road by 3 points after you routinely shot yourself in the foot the entire second half. To me, those losses are just different than the way Tennessee lost to Arkansas or the way Tennessee lost to Florida. I look at those teams as being better than Tennessee, whereas, Bishop Boswell took a lot of heat for his post-game comments after the game, and I would suggest to Bishop to not say that because of what's going to come of that. Nothing good can come of that.
No.
But, if I'm being honest, I kind of agree with him. On paper, Tennessee is better than Kentucky, in my opinion, but the games are not played on paper, so that's why you can't say that. You have to still give credit to Kentucky because although I think Tennessee shot itself in the foot a bunch, Kentucky still made the plays necessary. They were tougher than you. They did everything that you couldn't do, and that's kind of how the games last season played out. But then when it mattered most, I felt like the better team won. So, I mean, it would take quite the coincidence for the two teams to meet again, but it's certainly possible in the SEC tournament. I mean, it would take another nearly likely impossible scenario for them to meet in the tournament again, but NCAA tournament. But sue me, I do think Tennessee's the better team, and they just haven't showed it in the two games that they've matched up against one another this year.
Tennessee is not the better team. Kentucky is.
They were not the better team on either of the Saturdays that they have played one another. That is for sure.
Yeah. When you play each other, that's how you determine which team is better. And Tennessee had two opportunities.
So who was the better team last year between Tennessee and Kentucky?
During the regular season?
That's not what I'm asking. In totality, during the 2024-2025 season, who was the better team between Tennessee and Kentucky? By that logic, it would be Kentucky since Kentucky won 2 of 3.
Kentucky was better than Tennessee in 2 out of 3 games. And when it counted the most, at the end of the season, Tennessee was better than Kentucky at the end of the season. But Kentucky was better than Tennessee 2 out of 3 games.
So Kentucky was the better team last year.
Tennessee is not a better team than Kentucky because you're 0 for 2 versus Kentucky. And we can say, well, you shot yourself in the foot. But who's making you shoot yourself in the foot? The pressure that Kentucky put on you made you shoot yourself in the foot because the way they shoot it, the way they drive it, the way they have athletic bigs, and the way they don't play uptight like we played uptight in the second half. When you get a lead, and this is something Bishop Boswell said, you're so worried about not turning the ball over that you don't put the ball in the basket. It's 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and you're trying to get a shot because you spent most of the shot clock not turning the ball over instead of being aggressive and going and put the ball in the basket. That's the pressure that Kentucky puts on you. It's not like you would have the same outcome if you was playing Ole Miss or Missouri or Mississippi State. You having this type of outcome because Kentucky is a good team, and the matchups are tougher for you. They put pressure on you. That's why they make you shoot yourself in the foot. So Kentucky is a better basketball team than Tennessee right now. Now, that can change in another couple weeks if you see them in the SEC tournament, but they're better right now. Why? Because they beat you twice. They're better. It's okay. They're better.
I disagree. I don't. The results are all that matters at the end of the day. But in a sport like basketball, the results can be fluky at times.
How is losing twice fluky?
Because I think that the shooting itself in the foot, like it was more than just one issue, but the primary issue had, at least in the second one, was missing bunnies. And like I'm not giving Kentucky credit for forcing Tennessee to miss as many bunnies as they did.
You
Like
have to. You have to give them credit.
I don't have to.
But you'd be silly not to.
Well, then I'm being silly because I'm not.
Kentucky's length, Kentucky's athleticism made Jalen Carey non-existent because he's a below-the-rim player. Estrella is a below-the-rim player. So you had three guys who are healthy in the post who are below-the-rim players. You have Parr, who was an above-the-rim player, but he couldn't play well because of his calf. So you have Kentucky, who are athletic at the big position. It makes getting off a shot against those guys harder, which is why we were missing them. So you don't give them credit.
They should not have missed as many as they did. I believe I believe it's a little bit fluky, and I will stand on that.
There's no way Mark Pope is a better coach than Rick Barnes. Yes, it is fluky. See, here you go. Didn't even want to say anything about coaching. Mark Pope is not a better coach than Rick Barnes. Rick Barnes is first or second in active wins right now.
But by the logic of the only thing that matters is the result of the game. Mark Pope is 4-1 against Rick Barnes now. By that logic, he is better.
Mark Pope has Rick Barnes' number. That doesn't make him a better coach than Rick Barnes. These are two different statements. Mark Pope is in a second year coaching in Kentucky. He coached a couple years at BYU. Rick Barnes has won Coach of the Year. Mark Pope has not won Coach of the Year. So these are two different conversations. Mark Pope has Rick Barnes' number as of late. But Kentucky's basketball team this season is better than Tennessee. I don't see how y'all are doing this. Y'all are coping too hard here.
Coping, okay.
I'm going to the
it's what I believe. You can disagree with it, but I mean that's what I believe.
Okay, I'm going to the phones. Good morning.
What's up, fellas? It's Rusty.
What's up, Rusty?
So,
Collective bargaining.
I agree. Yeah, go ahead and get it out of the way. I'm not even talking about it. I refuse to. Hey, I agree with both of you because there is two different ways to look at it. But Swain did say something. He said Pope has Barnes' number, but Barnes is the better coach. So by that same token, Swain, Ben can turn around and say to you, Kentucky has Tennessee's number, but Tennessee's the better basketball team overall.
Oh, hey, that wasn't even the conversation. The conversation was,
I know, but
Tennessee better than Kentucky or Kentucky better than Tennessee?
Right.
Kentucky beat
I'll say
Tennessee
this.
twice. They're better.
I
That's
think
the only metric we can go by.
Well, here's the
Steelers beat the
argument
Patriots in the regular season. Are the Steelers better than the Patriots?
No. I think here's the other argument. Tennessee has had Bama's number in basketball like the last 7 years. And I think Tennessee's like, 6 of the last 7 or 7 of the last 8? I'm pretty sure like at least 3 of those teams, Bama was the better team. And we still owned them.
Auburn beat Florida. Is Auburn better than Florida?
Oh, good God. Not even
Missouri
close.
beat Florida. Missouri beat Florida 76-74. Is Missouri better than Florida?
This is where you messing up. You said Pittsburgh beat New England. You said Auburn beat Florida. That's one game. Tennessee lost to Kentucky twice.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I get it.
I'm not saying I agree with Ben. I'm just being the devil's advocate. And here's the other argument. Tennessee has led the 2 basketball games 78 of the 80 minutes and found a way to lose both. And they lost both games because they found a way to lose.
Yes.
That's hilarious. I mean, it's a shame. But I will say this, Jason. I think Kentucky and Tennessee are probably a coin flip matchup. I don't think one's better than the other. I think on any given day. And I think it's basketball's matchup dependent. So when you get into the dance, do you run into somebody that Tennessee matches up with well, like the way Bama plays, or do you run into somebody that plays the way Florida plays under Golden, and you get throttled? That's what really is going to come down to. These are 2 similar teams. But I did think last year, at the end of the year, going into the NCAA tournament, I thought Tennessee was a much better basketball team than Kentucky. Last year, and Kentucky was 2-0 against us. And it kind of showed itself when they got on a neutral court and played the third time. It wasn't even really a contest. That's kind of where that's the biggest thing. But I don't think
After
one's better
Tennessee
than,
shot itself in the foot in the first two matchups because of Kentucky's athleticism, size, length, and what Mark Pope was able to do, and still showed
helping
that they
off
were
the shooters.
the better team.
Helping off the shooters. The game in Knoxville last year, you got caught up in helping off the shooters and trying to take away drives whenever the only way Kentucky could win was for you to do exactly what you did. It's matchups. It's playing the right way. It's doing your assignments as a team. Because, hey, there's a reason in basketball to find the better team, you play a best-of-7 series. Because anything can happen in individual games where you make mistakes. The NCAA tournament's a terrible way to decide a champion. We all know that. It doesn't always find the best team. So it is what it is.
It worked.
We can agree on that, right?
I mean, it's worked the last 3 years. I think
The two UConn teams in the Florida. See, I still think Houston was the best team last year, and they led Florida wire to wire, and then Florida got them in the last minute because Walter Clayton, put on the cape. I think Houston was the best team last year. I'll give you the two UConn teams. Those were the two best teams. Yeah.
All right.
But we've had a bunch of years, the majority of the last 20, where it wasn't the best team winning at all.
I understand.
So you think the best team wins every single time? I mean, I don't know why. Like, okay, it's happened twice in the last month. If I want to look like an idiot for thinking that, then so be it. But like this, like the inferior team does win.
I don't think the best team wins all the time, but I think when you play a team,
when you play
twice in a span of 3 weeks, and they beat you twice, how can you say anything but Kentucky being better? They're better.
Yeah.
Because I view the way Tennessee lost those individual games different than when they got ran out against better teams like Arkansas and Florida. I just view the way that they lost differently.
You lost. You lost.
I mean,
yeah, I'll say this. I definitely think Florida's better than we are.
I mean, all the metrics suggest that Tennessee's better than Kentucky as well. Like,
right.
You can disagree with me, but I'm not being crazy. All the metrics suggest that Tennessee is a better team. They just haven't proven it when they've played. And like I said about Bishop Boswell, although I agree with him, if I was in his shoes, I would not have come out and said it after the game because nothing good can come of that. And you do look silly for saying it. But like, I don't think it's a crazy thought.
Can't say it.
Can't say it. Thank you, Rusty. Metrics, it's a good tool. But the metrics, they don't determine the outcome.
No.
They don't. Like, all right, Vegas had Seattle is 4.5 point favorite. A lot of people put their money on the Patriots. Vegas is normally right. But they don't control the outcome of the game. And the Seahawks beat the brakes off of the Patriots. So the metrics are the metrics, okay? Ken Palm, they do a great job. But Kentucky proved by their own court results that they're better than Tennessee right now.
Tennessee gift wrapped them both games. And Rick Barnes even said that Tennessee gift wrapped them the first one. And I'll speak for him and say that they gift wrapped them the second one.
I'm sorry. They don't work in sports, man. I'm sorry, that's an excuse. You lost to them twice in 3 weeks. Whether you gift wrapped them the game or not, they beat you twice.
I understand that, but I can still think that Tennessee's the better team.
You can.
Especially when I project them long term.
You can think they're the better team. You can. If you want to. I'm not telling you that you can't. I'm just not going to say that they're the better team because I'm going to look at the outcome of the 2 games.
Well, I didn't ask you to say that they're a better team. I shared my opinion, and you rightfully disagreed, as you had the right to do.
When Tennessee plays Alabama again. Yeah, we play Alabama again.
Yes, at home. February 28th.
And if
March
we beat
1st.
them again, I'm going to say Tennessee's a better team than Alabama because we beat them twice. And if we lose to Vanderbilt twice, I'm going to say Tennessee is not a better team than Vanderbilt. If we beat Vanderbilt twice, I'm going to say Tennessee's a better team than Vanderbilt. That's
I
what
mean, I can tell you right now, even if Alabama beats Tennessee in Knoxville, I'll still tell you that I think Tennessee's the better team because Alabama doesn't play a lick of defense.
Yeah, I won't know who's the better team because it's split between those two. But honestly, basketball is weird, and sports is weird because you can play a team early in regular season, beat that team, and the two teams can go in opposite directions. The Raiders beat the Patriots in the first month of the season. The Raiders have the number one pick in the draft. The Patriots played in the last game of the season. Tennessee beat Florida by 20 at home last year. Florida peaked at the right time and won the national championship in hoops. So, yeah, just because you played a team well in the regular season or beat a team and lost to a team doesn't mean that you're going to win at the end of the season or lose. It's about how you move from that game in the regular season. Do you get better or do you get worse? We've seen Tennessee lose to teams early in the regular season, go on and have a better postseason than the team they lost to. It happened last year with Kentucky. They've beaten us twice. They beat us twice last year. But we beat the brakes off of them in the tournament because Tennessee continued to get better. Kentucky did not get better, and they had an injury at the point guard position, which, factors into it as well. All right, I'm going back to the phones. 865-255-03. You and Rusty, man. Y'all something else, man. Good morning.
Good morning.
Turkey man.
I
Just what we need.
Say good morning.
This what we need, Turkey man.
Do what?
I said this is what we need. A moment of clarity.
Well, what I was going to ask is how much of what's going on over at Tennessee right now, we've seen what happened in football and all, being soft, and we've done hashed that out. But how much that got to do with our director of athletes? Anything? None? Does he have anything, to blame here or not?
I mean, I think Danny White hires coaches, asks the coach what they need in terms of resources to be successful, and gives the coaches what they need for the most part. He doesn't give them everything they need or everything they want, but he gives them what they need to be successful. And he doesn't meddle. And if the coach is not successful, Danny White, was he in the meetings? Is he at practice every day? Is he making decisions on personnel? No. But at the end of the day, he is the director of athletics. And so he put the coaches in place. He's ultimately responsible. But I'm not sitting here pointing the finger at Danny White because Josh Heupel didn't control Boo Carter and the culture was affected, or didn't call the right play, or Jalen Carey having 0 shot attempts against Kentucky. Like, I'm not pointing the finger at Danny White for that. But again, he's the director of athletics, so everything underneath his umbrella, he's in charge of athletics, and he's responsible for athletics. That's why he gets paid the big bucks, and he has a title.
I was curious because it seemed like there was a period of time last year that all of our programs was winning and being successful, and of course we, pointed to our director of athletes because I thought he was doing, and I still think he's doing a good job. But I'm just curious what happened. Where did this get off the tracks? Where did all this come about? Because it's not just with this. It was with this, and it was this. We see it all across the board. And I wanted to say, well, it had something to do with the system of paying athletes, where it's going on now. But I see other programs that does that are successful, and I even seen Vanderbilt making a jump. Makes me concerned. I'm excited about baseball, but I'm optimistic what's going on. When you see the wheels come off the wagon in so many different directions, it seemed like every one of our programs was being successful, you see improvement. I was just curious because I don't know, and I'm asking the question. I don't know, and I'm not asking the question to be derogatory toward anybody.
Yeah.
I'm just asking, what's the problem?
I get it.
All right.
Thank you, Turkey Man. Yeah, I don't think the wheels fell off with Tennessee football. I just think you had a bad season, and you made the necessary personnel decisions from a staff standpoint to improve. Men's basketball, you have lost 7 games so far, and because of Rick Barnes' success, we've become spoiled. Like Dustin called in earlier, was like, man, our defense. No, it's Nathan. Our defense, man, it's just not as good as it has been. Yeah, that's true, because the defense has been number 1, like number 1, number 2, number 3, and right now it's 16. Like it's 16 right now, and so it's been so good. It's been so great. It's still one spot outside of the top 15, and so like I don't think the sky's falling, but I do think when you have Vanderbilt doing what they're doing, it makes us feel a certain type of way, because Vanderbilt's not supposed to be better at us in major 3 sports across the board. And right now, they are.
But why are they? Not because they have stepped up financially, but because Clark Lee is one of the best in the country at evaluating talent and establishing a culture. That's why Vanderbilt football is, at least this past year, was better than Tennessee.
Correct. Yeah.
Better culture, better evaluations and development. Women's basketball, I'm blanking on her name. She used to be the assistant.
Oh, you talking about
the head coach, Shay
Rolfe from UConn.
Yes. Culture, evaluations of talent.
And Michaela Blakes. She helps a lot. And then Mark Byington, I'm not going to say Vanderbilt is better than Tennessee in basketball at the moment. I would say that they're pretty equal overall, but Tennessee has had far more NCAA tournament success the past couple of years. So I don't really even think it's Tennessee basketball is better than Vanderbilt basketball until Vanderbilt matches or does better in the in the NCAA tournament than Tennessee. But I do really like Mark Byington and think he has done a really good job at Vanderbilt because of his culture, because of talent evaluations and talent development. And Tim Corbin, one of the best to ever do it in college baseball. Great culture, great talent evaluator, great talent developer of talent. Like you've got to be able to check those 3 boxes, and Josh Heupel has not been able to check all those 3 boxes the last 2-ish years. Rick Barnes, like I think we get so caught up in the moment. Like, can we wait until after March to assess whether this team is good or bad? I mean, the guy has gone to 3 straight Sweet 16s and back-to-back Elite Eights for the first time in program history. Tennessee had been to 1 Elite Eight before Rick Barnes. They've gone in back-to-back years. And the Sweet 16, 3 straight years, and maybe 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5, something like that. I don't know it off the top of my head. Like, can we wait before we evaluate Rick Barnes until after the season? 100%. Kim Caldwell not checking those boxes. Karen Weekly does check those boxes. Mm-hmm. We'll see what Josh Elander does. He has to go prove it. I think he'll check those boxes, but he has to go prove it. So, I mean, it's not as bad as it seems, but your major sport that everybody cares about most, the sport that drives the university, it's not checking those boxes. So I think it makes things feel a little bit worse. And then you do have a scenario that pops up like the Lady Vols that just aren't trending in the right direction. I don't think that Kim Caldwell, I mean, she will reflect on Danny White because that was his hire, but I don't look at the football team's issues and think that is a Danny White problem. Because even if Josh Heupel were to get fired in the next year or two, if Josh Heupel got fired in the next year or two, like he's not able to get back to the playoffs and get over the hump, would you deem that hire a success or a failure for Danny White? Because I still think it would be a success. Maybe you didn't have the success that you wanted, but given where Tennessee was, when Heupel and Danny took over, you had the magical 2022 season. You did make it to the playoffs. I don't think that would be a failure
So I don't look at the football issues and point to Danny White. Lady Vols basketball, that'd be different.
Yeah, correct. You ever? I know you do this because of what you drive and all the miles that you do drive. This might be a mic drop moment. Hopefully, I can deliver.
Get on your J. Cole.
You ever drive on the highway and you don't have your cruise control on and you're in the right lane, and let's say you're driving about 77 in a 70, and a car passes you, and you look down at your how fast you're going, and you're like, damn, I'm only going 77. And you speed up.
Oh, yeah. I think all of us have been there.
Nothing makes Tennessee speed up and be aware of what they're doing or want to make adjustments and changes more than Vanderbilt having success in athletics. When Vanderbilt beat us in football this year and every other time, folks got fired. It makes us look in the mirror more than in any time. When they're good in basketball, they're good in baseball, when they're good in the major 3 or 4 sports, it makes us look at ourselves and go, dang, we got to step it up. Even though we're doing a pretty dang good job. Vanderbilt right now in this sweet spot, let's not act like it's been 5 or 6 years, because Tennessee's been on a 5 or 6 year run.
Tennessee has sustained it to this point.
Correct. Yeah.
Longer than Vanderbilt has. Vanderbilt is still in the early stages
of it. We've been
it.
on a run here longer. Vanderbilt has hit a sweet spot that deserves credit. With Candace Story, what she's doing, it's phenomenal. You got to give props where props are due. But let's not act like Tennessee ain't been on a longer run. And right now, there's just a little dip. There's just a little valley. And that happens when there's so many good teams, good sports, good conferences. And I take it back to Tennessee basketball. Vanderbilt's 19-4. Dude, have you seen Illinois play since we played them? They are a top 5 team. Yes. That is a national championship team. They are unbelievable. They're better than when they played us. Kansas is better than when they played us. They just beat Arizona last night without their top player, who's going to be the one pick in the draft, arguably. I mean, we got 7 losses. They got 4, but they didn't play a non-conference schedule like we played. We got some losses from our non-conference schedule that they would have too. Now, I don't know about Syracuse. That was a bad loss.
That Syracuse loss is as bad of a loss as you'll see in college basketball this season.
Yeah, it's spoiling like milk right now.
But head-to-head matters, Syracuse the better basketball team.
Well, if they played twice, I doubt they would lose twice, Ben. But nice try. Nice try. Nice try. 865.
Who do you think's the better basketball team between Tennessee and Vanderbilt?
They haven't played yet, Ben. I don't know.
I don't care.
I don't know yet.
Oh, Vanderbilt, fewer losses. They're the better basketball team.
They got to play. I already answered that earlier. If
I know.
Vanderbilt wins twice,
they
are better. If Tennessee wins twice, they are better.
We'll see how fluky the losses end up being. I'll tell you who's never fluky, and that's Jennifer Morris. And Jennifer Morris this morning does not give a daggum what anybody says. She's riding with Kim Caldwell to fix the Lady Vols issues. And we can say Pat wouldn't put up with it, but Pat's players were young people from 20 years ago, and today's young people are different young people. She'll fix it. Go daggum Vols, and thank goodness for baseball. See y'all at Lindsey Nelson. Make sure you reach out to Jennifer Morris of Keller Williams Realty for all of your real estate needs.
Well, why did Jennifer say thank you for baseball season, though?
I'm not going to speak for Jennifer.
Jennifer? Why are you ready for baseball season?
Poor Jennifer. I'll let Jennifer speak on that.
Oh, man.
She's just I think baseball is Jennifer's favorite sport.
It is. It's a favorite sport.
I think she's just happy for baseball season.
It's a favorite sport. Yeah, it is. Kim got to get it together, man.
Yes, she
You can't-
does.
I'm sorry. They're saying and trying to analyze it. Y'all, it's really simple. You shouldn't have a team ever quitting at the University of Tennessee. Ever. Ladies, you have great facilities. You're getting paid. You have great crowds. You have great support. Caldwell, assistant coaches, and players, this is unacceptable. It don't matter whose fault it is. It's unacceptable. Period, point blank. Do not embarrass and disgrace what has been built by people before you. It's that simple. It's that simple. Guys, you can feel your energy slipping away, losing what makes you, you. It could be low testosterone. Take action now. Low T Center can help reclaim your energy with a quick and simple free T-test. Visit Low T Center and receive pharmaceutical-grade testosterone never compounded like other clinics. Experienced providers increase your testosterone to the level that is just right for you. Treatment is covered by most major insurance with affordable self-pay options available. The best you is waiting. Book your free T-test at trtmvp.com. When you are craving some quality barbecue, there's only one place to go. Dead End Barbecue. Dead End Barbecue has been featured on ESPN's Taste of the Town, the first barbecue restaurant on the SEC Network, CBS Sports, Headline News Tailgate Show, Amazon Prime's The Restaurant Comeback, Food Paradise, and named one of the top 100 barbecue restaurants in America. The search is over. Dead End Barbecue is located on 3621 Sutherland Avenue right here in Knoxville. You can even have it delivered right to your door through Chow Now. Visit their website at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Arza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Just because you can't call in doesn't mean that you have to sit on the sideline. Impact the show with a text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Eight 865-255-03 is our telephone number, the Garza Law Hotline. Appreciate all the calls this morning. Ben McKee, Go Vols 247. I saw you on TV, Ben. Over there, ducked off in the corner. I don't know if anyone else noticed you, but I noticed you. I saw you over there. You were sitting on the end about, I don't know how high, how up you was, but I know you were at the end. I saw your head. It's like the white version of LeBron James.
I don't even know how to respond to that comparison. That really, you saw on TV in the Kentucky game?
Yeah, you sit on the end, right? Press row.
Yeah, but they showed like up top.
Yeah, they showed like a little section, and I caught you. I know how you look, so I saw you.
I would hope you know how I look. You've been looking at me for a decade now.
I know, right? I know. Going to the Beatty Chevrolet text box, BeattyChevrolet.com. C-Mac says, Ben's mama was a hooper? What happened to her son's athletic abilities then? Dang.
My mom was a better athlete than me. She even played tennis at UT Martin.
Yay.
Tennis and women's basketball
C-Mac got time today. He's heavy on the text box.
Yeah, C-Mac needs to pipe down before I go J. Cole on him this morning.
The Lady Vol softball team won this weekend.
I mentioned that right off the jump, C-Mac. Should have woke up earlier and listened.
Dave Barnett was better than Miles collegiately. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, like he had a better college career. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm with you, Neil Mafia. I'm with you.
Mafia.
Pierce. This was about Pierce. And I think Big Orange's message was, man, don't let
Lust.
yourself get into a situation where you ruin everything. And I don't even want to say don't let, women allow you to get in trouble, because that's in a way blaming the woman. They're not to blame here.
And James's issues are deeper than women. They go back to anger issues.
Yeah, it's not Rakia's fault. This is Pierce. This is his problem. You don't want to allow anything to ruin a great opportunity. Alcohol, drugs, or women to distract you. But this is all on James Pierce. He was wrong. Rakia did not do anything wrong here. She didn't deserve what happened. She was trying to remove herself from the situation. She was trying to move on. Pierce was the aggressor. He was wrong in all accounts here. So I understand what you're saying, Neil Mafia. I do. We will get the rematch in the SEC tournament again. Hopefully, we will be prepared to keep a lead. I lean more with Ben because of the Vols dominating Kentucky both times. Ball just didn't go your way. Ball didn't go your way? What does that even mean?
I have spoke on the matter. I have shared my opinion, and I will leave it at that.
We lost because the ball didn't go our way? Really?
Well, when you're missing the bunnies, I mean, you do you not have nights in basketball where the ball does not bounce your way?
How do you have a straight face right now?
How are you so defensive about this? I mean, this is not. I'm not an alien. Like, this is not a thought that is not foreign. Are there nights where the ball just does not go in for you in basketball?
You're not slick. Was Saturday one of those nights for Tennessee?
I think it was, yes. I said that earlier.
Okay. How many points in the paint did Kentucky have?
I don't know off the top of my head.
44. Is that the ball bouncing the wrong way?
No, because their shots went in. Tennessee's shots in the paint did not. How many points would Tennessee have in the paint if their bunnies would have gone in?
So they have 44 bunnies.
How, if you had to guesstimate, how many bunnies would you feel comfortable guessing Tennessee missed?
I don't know, Ben.
10? 8?
You pride yourself on defense as a program. You allow Kentucky to score 44 points in the paint. You also shot.
Yeah, but that we're talking about the ball not bouncing Tennessee's way. You asked me how I don't think Tennessee's the ball bounced Tennessee's way, and I'm talking about their offensive side, not their defense. They got bullied in the paint.
But that's the reason why you lost the game. You didn't lose the game just because the ball didn't bounce your way, and it was because it's bad luck.
Okay, well, Tennessee also out-rebounded them 46-31.
Okay.
19 offensive rebounds to 8. So Tennessee also did some bullying in the paint.
But not enough, because you allowed them to score in the paint. That's what I'm saying.
And but like if Tennessee converts their offensive rebounds, all those bunnies that they missed around the rim, they win the basketball game.
And Kentucky did convert the bunnies around the basketball.
I never said they didn't.
But I'm saying, like, it's not that the ball didn't bounce their way and, oh, man, you were just unlucky because, you were unlucky. You missed the bunnies. You missed them because you missed them.
The defense slipped in the second half. I said earlier that do I feel Tennessee gave the game away? Yes. But the bunnies weren't the only issue. If you make your bunnies, you still win the game, but that doesn't mean that that was the only issue in the game. Tennessee's defense completely slipped in the second half, and the way Jalen Carey act all tough and mighty and at the end of the first matchup to show up like he did in the second matchup, I think is disappointing. Like I don't like missing the bunnies isn't the only reason Tennessee lost at all.
But you're killing
that wasn't my point
But
earlier.
you're killing your argument when you say Tennessee is a better team. You still feel like, and Tennessee, it was fluky because Tennessee didn't make their bunnies. But then also say that's not the only reason why they lost, because defensively we didn't stop them from scoring 44 points in the paint. Defense didn't play well. Like I think that's where you kill your argument, because you can have a bad off night around the rim and still win if the other areas are better. If Tennessee plays better defense, if the rotation is better and not allow Colin Chandler to hit a wide open shot while you were up, and then they took the lead and you were not able to get it back. If you would have boxed out, I don't care if Amari Evans is not a post player, he's still strong enough to box out. He didn't box out. He didn't execute. So at the end of the day, they executed better. They won the game twice. In my eyes, that is better. And if the roles were reversed, if Tennessee was Kentucky, we would sit here and go, Tennessee's a better basketball team. We would do it. We would do it, man. We would do it. And so I'm not going to sit here and go, man, the ball just bounced your way like it's a football where when you drop it on the ground, you don't know where it's going to go. Basketball, if you drop it on the ground straight, it's coming back up straight. What the ball didn't bounce your way on Saturday? You didn't bounce the ball the right way. You didn't stop anybody when you need to stop somebody. You didn't make free throws. You were 68% from the free throw line.
And despite all that, if you make your bunnies, you still win the basketball game.
Then you didn't.
So, like, how can you say they didn't do this, they didn't do this,
they didn't make it,
didn't do this, and they still could have won? Well, if they would have made their bunnies, they also still could have won. But it's the same logic.
But they didn't win because they didn't make it.
Yeah, which is why you tip your hat to Kentucky and you work to get better and keep it moving.
Yeah, and realize that they're better right now. That's what you do.
I disagree. I disagree, and I would die on that hill if I have to.
That's fine. Hey, man, you could be the guy who says Tennessee's 0-2 versus Kentucky, but I still think they're better. You could be that guy. I'm not going to be that guy.
I will. Just like I think Tennessee is better than Syracuse despite being 0-1.
All right. 0-1 versus 0-2. Okay, who do we start in the middle infield with Grimmer out this weekend? Baseball question.
Well, Grimmer would be out in left field anyways. I don't know if that person was implying that he thinks that he or she that Grimmer would be in the middle infield, but Grimmer would be out in left field. Apologies if that was two separate thoughts, but I think you'll see Manny Marin at shortstop and Ariel Antigua at second base.
Antigua, he's been lighting it up.
He has been, which isn't the first time he's done well in fall ball preseason practice. Now he needs to translate it to end season. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really care what Ariel does these next couple of weeks against Nichols and I forget the series they play before they go off. Kent State, maybe. Wright State. Like, I want to see Ariel do it when they go to Texas, when they play UCLA and Virginia Tech. Arizona State is the third team they're playing in Texas. I want to see him do it once they get into SEC play. Like, he's capable of doing it against the Nichols of the world, but can he do it when it really matters against big time competition? That's what's important to him. Is proving he can consistently do it against that level of competition.
No, 100%, man. It's baseball time in Tennessee. We'll have one more show before first pitch officially happens for Tennessee baseball. The Josh Elander era is here, and I do agree with you here, Ben, that you can't finally judge the basketball season until this basketball season ends. It's a long road. The culture issues
and the upcoming schedule. They benefited that 6-0 start, you still give them credit. Not trying to take credit away from them, but their SEC schedule is backloaded, and they were able to take advantage of the opening 6 games or so. But now it's going to get really difficult for them here in the month of February.
That's facts. That is facts. That is facts. So we'll be back on Thursday to talk about it all. Ben McKee, Go Vols 247. I am Jason Swain. Tennessee men's, Mississippi State. You making that trip to Starkville?
No, because I have what's that?
I don't blame you.
Well, I've got a medical procedure scheduled for in the morning.
Hey, good luck with that. I don't blame you for not hitting Starkville, but that'll be a good test for Tennessee. Starkville could be a tough place to play at the hump. This Mississippi State team is not good. They've lost 7 out of the last 8. They're projected to lose the rest of the games for the regular season. They're not good. But you can't give them a chance to believe early. For Tennessee, you got to come out and play the way you're capable of playing, and you shouldn't have a problem against Mississippi State. Women's basketball, they play Missouri on Thursday. Kelly Harper returning for the first time since being dismissed as head coach. So hopefully we get some bounce back games from the men's team and the ladies team. Tennessee football we will discuss on Thursday, and all things Tennessee. Text box, phone calls, love to go to those to hear your opinions. We'll do the same thing on Thursday. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Peace and love. We are out.